Hello, this is J Mcpherson, and today we're going to be discussing the enigmatic faction in Warmachine known as the Convergence of Cyriss. So here's our question for today. Who is Cyriss, and what does she want? Some interesting facts about the Convergence of Cyriss. They worship more or less the goddess of mathematics. Most of them are university trained. They recruit from universities who train in astronomy or biology or mathematics. We know from the lore that they like to transfer themselves into immortal metal bodies, but we also know from some of the other lore their souls slowly degrade as they do so and lose sentience, and they lose the ability to invent or innovate. Some of them even, to my opinion, show signs of this before they transfer. Aurora in the novel Dark Convergence doesn't show normal human reactions to most events. She seems strange somehow. She doesn't make sense as a character, but weirdly that works for the faction, and they all agree with her about everything she says, at least insofar as they fight on her side. These people show signs of losing all ability for motion, and ability to use logic properly, and they invent things that don't seem rational. Here's my theory. Every single person in the Convergence of Cyriss is an astronomer. This is a society that does not prioritize looking at the night sky much. They don't do that much. They do, and see something called the Eye of the Worm, which we know is a celestial body associated with terror and madness. They see it and start having strange dreams where a maiden visits them and keeps them safe. The maiden is often one of the titles for Artis, one of the planet's 3 moons. So they see something in the night sky they shouldn't, and are terrified and verified, and something tries to comfort them. Here's my theory, and this is, by the way, a fan theory and not officially in the books. Something is teaching them magic. Something is teaching them to do transference, and something is sending them instructions. I think this is Menoth. Now, in my personal opinion, Menoth is far too benevolent of a god to be a god of wrath and hatred. I think that's the thing the Sulamenites believe that might not be correct. More on that in a separate video. Menoth created mankind and gave them great gifts, and he seems to be a figure who wants them to be very rule-following because he thinks it works. That's my opinion on Menoth. And it gets interesting. When you look at the 9 harmonics that the followers of Cyriss have, the last few line up almost perfectly with what we know of the canon of the True Law the followers of Menoth have. Here's one example. To awaken a soul, one needs to seek harmony with the goddess. Here's a very similar phrase in the canon of the True Law. There is no end, there is a place for us all at the feet of Menoth. You must serve the goddess to find peace, you must serve Menoth to find peace. It's the same commandments put through machine logic. One more example. False shadows of consciousness mock the divine equation. There is no word other than the word of Menoth. Very similar, but one's in machine logic. I think Menoth is trying to find people who have been scarred by an encounter with the Devourer, his ancient enemy, the Devourer worm, and keep them safe. That's my theory. Thank you for your time. See you out.